I am 64 years old now, and if there is one thing I cannot get back, it is time. Not money, not opportunities, not even relationships hurt me as much as the realization that I traded years of my life for comfort, distraction, and delay. When I was young, I believed time was endless. I believed I could start later, fix things later, become serious later, and later became the most expensive word in my life. In my 20s, I was always busy, but I was never productive. There is a difference. Being busy makes you feel important. Being productive makes you valuable. And I chased the feeling instead of the result. I said yes to things that did not matter. And I said, I will do it tomorrow to the things that did. Tomorrow became next week became next year, and suddenly I was 35 wondering where my energy went. Time does not leave loudly, it leaves quietly. It leaves when you scroll instead of study, when you sleep instead of plan, when you talk instead of act. I wasted hours trying to look successful instead of becoming useful. And usefulness is what creates real confidence, not appearance, not opinions, not validation. I also wasted time comparing my beginning to other people's middle. I watched others move forward while I stayed in preparation mode, waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel motivated, waiting to feel certain, and certainty never came. Action creates clarity, not thinking. Another way I wasted time was by avoiding discomfort. Anything that required patience, I called boring. Anything that required effort, I postponed. I chose easy entertainment over hard growth, and easy choices repeated daily create a difficult life. This is a rule I learned too late. I told myself I was young and deserved to enjoy life, but enjoyment without direction becomes escape, and escape becomes habit, and habit becomes identity. I became someone who started things and did not finish them, and unfinished work slowly destroys self-respect. Every promise you break to yourself weakens your confidence, not in the world, but in your own mind. I also wasted time around people who had no direction. Not bad people, just comfortable people. And comfort spreads. If you spend enough time around people who do not move forward, you will begin to slow down without noticing. Environment is stronger than intention. I learned that after losing years in conversations that produced nothing, plans that never started, and ideas that never moved. I confused thinking with doing and talking with progress. Another mistake I made was underestimating small, daily effort. I wanted big results, dramatic change, fast improvement, but real growth is slow, quiet, repetitive, and invisible for a long time. I quit too early because I did not see immediate reward, not understanding that consistency compounds, just like neglect compounds. I also wasted time trying to fix the wrong things. I tried to optimize tools instead of building skills. I tried to find motivation instead of building discipline. And I tried to change outcomes without changing habits. Your habits are your future in visible form. If your days have no structure, your years will have no direction. This is not motivational speech. This is simple arithmetic. I also believed I had to feel good to work. This belief alone cost me a decade, because feelings change daily but responsibilities remain. Disciplined people act regardless of mood, and mood eventually follows action, not the other way around. I spent years waiting for the perfect moment to begin. There is no perfect moment. There is only the moment you decide to start imperfectly. Perfectionism is just fear wearing a respectable mask. I wasted time trying to avoid mistakes, and in doing so, I made the biggest mistake. I did nothing. Doing something imperfectly teaches you more than planning something perfectly. I also did not protect my mornings. I gave my best energy to distractions and my tired hours to important work. Your energy has an order, and if you do not respect that order, you will always feel behind. I learned too late that what you do in the first 2 hours of your day often decides who you become. Another time thief was comfort disguised as rest. Rest is necessary, but endless rest is avoidance. There is a difference between recovery and escape. I told myself I needed more time, more information, more clarity, but what I really needed was to begin. Starting removes confusion. Movement creates understanding. Stillness creates doubt. I also wasted time not taking care of my health because I believed productivity was only about work. But energy is the real currency of time. Without energy, you cannot use time well. Sleep, movement, and nutrition are not optional if you want a future that feels stable. I learned that too late, when my body started slowing down before my responsibilities did. Regret is not loud. It is a quiet calculation you make when you realize how much you could have done with the hours you lost. I am not telling you to never relax. I am telling you to relax after you move forward. Rest after progress feels peaceful. Rest without progress feels guilty. Protect your time like it is your only asset, because it is. Money can return, opportunities can return, even people can return, but time does not negotiate. It only moves in one direction. If you are in your 20s, your advantage is not intelligence, it is time. If you are in your 30s, your advantage is still time, but only if you stop wasting it now. Remove distractions that do not build your future. Reduce activities that do not teach you anything, and replace them with small, daily actions that compound. You do not need 10 hours of work. You need consistent hours of focused effort. I wasted years because I believed change had to be dramatic. But real change is boring, repetitive, and quiet. And that is why most people avoid it. Boredom is the price of mastery. I ran from boredom and ran into regret. I also want to tell you that starting late is still better than not starting. I improved parts of my life in my 50s, and even that brought peace. Imagine what happens if you begin in your 20s. Do not measure progress daily, measure it yearly, because time rewards patience. If you plant today and return tomorrow, you will see nothing. If you return next year, you will see growth. Consistency is faith in slow results. And faith in slow results is what I did not have when I was young. I chased fast results and lost long-term progress. If I could speak to my younger self, I would not tell him to work harder. I would tell him to work regularly, every day, even when it feels small, even when it feels pointless. Because small actions repeated daily shape identity, and identity shapes destiny. I am not special. I am not more intelligent than you. The only difference between my past and your present is awareness. You still have time to use your time. Do not wait for a crisis to change your habits. Change them while your life is still flexible, while your energy is still high, while your responsibilities are still manageable. Time is not just passing, it is converting into your future. Every hour becomes a result later. Every day becomes a direction later. And every year becomes a life later. I cannot recover the years I lost, but you can protect the years you still have. And if these words make you close one distraction, start one task, or build one small habit today, then the time I wasted has at least produced something useful.